and one of them is a love song, one of them is a love song and a lament song, and one of them is a child's play. So, to give you some history before we see any of these songs, in the past, young males from Nepal were sent to different countries across the world, like India, and then it was India and Pakistan, Britain, Brunei, and Singapore, to work as soldiers. And they were given some of the most difficult work that there was. And the specific demographic that I am going to speak about today is called the Lahure. The Lahure is a community that typically migrates out of Nepal in search of a better livelihood. And in the past, it was limited to only soldiers, but today it could be anyone who migrates for any kind of work. The word Lahure itself comes from the word Lahore, where typically most of these soldiers were sent after recruitment. And the Lahure word means the one who comes from or goes to Lahore. In the 19th century, the British East India Company really wanted to expand its dominion in all of India, and that meant that it was also clashing with Nepal. During that time, Nepal had a newly found kingdom of the Gurkhas. Gurkha is a word you might have heard in many contexts, and they were referred to as a martial race. Now, it is important to note that the Gurkhas weren't traditionally like a especially martial race. But when they had to fight against the British, they fought with kukuris. And kukuri is a type of machete that is also specific to Nepal and Nepali culture. And that became a symbol of the Gurkha. The machete, however, is not just used, the kukuri, I mean, is not, however, used only for battle. It is used for cutting grass, it could be used for any kind of work. Now, one account says that so because these histories haven't been recorded in any sort of written format, and all of these stories have mostly passed on through songs and majorly through oral tradition of other sorts. One account says that the word Lahure came after Gorkha soldiers suffered at the hands of Ranjit Singh, who was then ruling Punjab in 1809 at the Kashmir conflict. And then the Sikhs formed their first known foreign Gorkha regiments. And Lahure became the word for those who migrated to Lahore as soldiers. The word Gurkha, however, is seen as a British label because most of these people don't self identify as Gurkhas, they identify as Lahuris. And this gets further complicated now because there is a regiment in the Indian Army which is called the Gurkha Regiment. This is not the same Gurkha that is from Nepal, that was in the past Nepal. So the matter of identity and language gets ever more complicated. The first song that we are going to watch today is so this is a very popular game that we used to play as kids, and maybe not so much us. I mean, I only remember playing it maybe twice, but it is pretty famous, and especially my parents' generation would have definitely played it. So this game is called Into Mintu. Into Mintu are two kids, supposed kids, and ma'am, if you could open the video. There are two variations of this rhyme song. And the one that my cousins are going to sing right now is a mashup of the both. So it is quite incorrect, but we're going to go with it anyway. Man can play it.
हाम्रो बाबा पल्टनमा बाबाले बिस्कुट बजाए कान्छी नानी फकाए हाम्रो बाबा पल्टनमा बाबाले
Okay, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to explain what they just did. Okay, so the two people who were holding the arch are, you can say, they are two recruiters. And this is how I interpret the game. Wasn't written anywhere, but this is how I think this game came to be. And the people who are going around are the people who are going to get recruited with the hope that they get recruited. Okay, and this whole thing is gonna happen by chance. Like the song that they're singing, it basically says that Into and Mintu are in London. Our dad is in the platoon. They say Paltan, and Babale biscuit pathay, which is my father sent biscuits to soothe the youngest baby girl. Okay, and as they're going, and then they say tini ni ni ni, which is the sound of the bell, and they say jhappa. So throughout this series, like till the end of the listening course, I'm gonna give you some very tasty Nepali words, and jhappa is the first word. So jhappa is when something shuts, like abruptly. Okay, and when they get caught, they are taken away from everybody else, and they are made to choose between two teams. Okay, and you are not told which person is which team. So team apple and team mango, you don't know who is apple or who is mango, you just say something and then you get recruited behind them. Okay, and this goes on till everybody is, there in the game, and then at the end you play a tug of war, and that is the war, and then someone wins. Okay, so in another version of this song, the second line is changed, which is Into Mintu are all in London. My father is in a platoon. And then instead of saying Baba Le Biscuit Pathai, this version, which my uncle used to sing, so I'm guessing it is more authentic somehow, is says Skula ko pale dai, pahilo ghanti bajai deo, which means security guard brother of our school, please strike the first bell. Tininini jhappa. Okay. So that is the story behind this. Next, we are going to watch another video. Ma'am, could you play the video with the pink? It says Mohani. The first one, yeah.
मोहनी लाग्लाए गाउँलेको बोलीले दारकार चहरको गीतले ख्यालठट्टा नगर अल्झेला बगर बिर्सनेलाई सम्झनाको गीतले बिर्सनेलाई सम्झनाको गीतले कुन संजोग होला कुन दैव होला भेट भयो बगर कुन गाउँ होला कुन ठाउँ होला बस्ने कुन सहर मोहनी लाग्लाई गाउँलेको बोलीले डाँडाकाँडा छोरको गीतले ख्यालठट्टा नगर अल्झेला बगर बिर्सनेलाई सम्झनाको गीतले बिर्सनेलाई सम्झनाको गीतले
Okay. That was my friend Rixel, who is hopefully watching here. We've been friends since I was in nursery, and I might have played this game with him. I can't remember it, but I must have. Okay, so now this song is called Mohani Nagai, and if you read the subtitles, it's this person telling a woman not to play around, that she might fall in love with him. And then he is someone who is going to leave. So she will be remembering this song, which is a song of remembrance, sung by someone who forgets. So, although there is no direct reference to the Lahure, you can sense the anxiety and apprehension that clouds this song, and also the longing and hopefulness in part of the woman who says, which so he sang both the parts, but the second paragraph which says, "What coincidence this is, what cosmic plan that we should meet this way." The woman is still hopeful, but this song really harps on the tone of caution that one must exercise when falling in love, when one is, you know, living in a country like Nepal, where most people have to leave their country in order to make a livelihood. So the Lahure culture is very much prevalent even today. It might have morphed into a lot of different forms. Uh, like now, people will bring their families along to many parts of India and even abroad. But so that is that. Now, here we are going to talk about some tasty words that I have picked out for you. Okay, so my friend forgot to sing this one part that is very indicative of this person leaving, that this person's going to leave and he's a part of the Lahure community. So I'm going to sing it for you. In the second paragraph, this happens again. She says, "Kun sanjog hola, kun daiva hola, bhed bhayo bakhara. Kun gaon hola, kun ठाउँ होला, Kathmandu shahara." And she says, "Jhalmada hola, jahani hola, Kathmandu shahara." So it says that it must be a sea of light, like it must be glittering wherever this Kathmandu city is. And the tasty word here is jhalala. Okay, it's like visual glitter. Okay, now we're going to go to the last and maybe the most telling songs of all. Ma'am, the last video.
आगे आगे तोपैको होला पछि पछि मसिन्डन बरारा आगे आगे तोपैको होला पछि पछि मसिन्डन बरारा
सिगरेट नदेऊ म बिडी खानेलाई माया नदेऊ म हिँडी जानेलाई सिगरेट नदेऊ म बिडी खानेलाई माया नदेऊ म हिँडी जानेलाई
उकालीको चिसो पानी खाइजाउँ लाग्छ उकालीको चिसो पानी खाइजाउँ लाग्छ
माथिल्लो घरको तरुनीलाई लैजाउँ लाग्छ आगे आगे तोपको गोला पछि पछि मसिन्डन बरारा आगे आगे तोपैको गोला पछि पछि मसिन्डन बरारा सिगरेट नदेऊ म बिडी खानेलाई माया नदेऊ म हिँडी जानेलाई सिगरेट नदेऊ म बिडी खानेलाई माया नदेऊ म हिँडी जानेलाई तितलको सिमसारेमा दुम्सी लुक्ने दुलो सुन है तितलको सिमसारेमा धुम्सी लुक्ने दुलो
बल्ल बल्ल पायो छोरा टाउको मात्र ठुलो
आगे आगे तोपको गोला पछि पछि मसिन गन फरारा आगे आगे तोपको गोला पछि पछि मसिन गन फरारा सिगरेट नदेऊ बिडी खानेलाई माया नदेऊ म हिँडी जानेलाई सिगरेट नदेऊ म बिडी खानेलाई माया नदेऊ म हिँडी जानेलाई.
Okay, so this is my granduncle, and the woman who's singing is my grandaunt. She refused to be in the video, but I don't think that really matters because she sang beautifully. So this song is about someone standing in the battlefield, and he's describing the scene around him, that there are cannonballs in front of me, there is gun firings behind me, and he's singing all of this in such a casual, gleeful tone. And if you watch the original video that you might find on YouTube if you search Aage Aage, it is sung by Danny Denzongpa and Asha Bhosle. A really weird thing is that Asha Bhosle has sang so many Nepali songs, and most of the popular Nepali songs have been sung by Hindi speaking singers. Uh, but what I really want you to notice is that the song is gleeful. When you listen to these songs, and if you don't understand the language, and if there is no subtitles or something, you might think that it's a happy song. And it might come off as a happy song even to someone who speaks Nepali, but it is trying to downplay the horror of the war. And this is, this man is asking this woman not to offer him a cigarette, not to offer him her love because he is going to leave. And then there's this sense of, so the juxtaposition of cannonballs and gunfire against cigarette is a parody and some genius. In the second verse, a few very nice words there. So one word that he says is ukali kochi sopani. Ukali, I have translated it as atop the hills, but ukali actually means um, uphill. Okay. And then when he's talking about the girl, he says matlo ghar ko. Matlo cannot really be translated because if you're thinking of an incline and one house is here and one house is here, this house that is above this house, not directly above, the slope above, that is matlo ghar. Okay. And then talo ghar, talo ti tala ko simsar. So tala is again the, so if this is matlo ghar, this is talo ghar, okay, the one below. In Nepali songs and even in normal speech, words like uphill, above, below are used liberally. Like this is how we refer. This is our geography. So it's very, very nuanced of a hill life and of a hill song. And another tasty word here is dumsi. Dumsi is a porcupine. Um, One more word is balla balla. So balla balla is in Nepali, it's called the Samocharit Shabda, which is you pronounce it together. So balla balla can be like finally. So if someone's, finally leaving, you want them to really, really leave, you'll be like, okay, balla balla goyo. Okay. So I used to think that these words, Samocharit Shabda, only existed in Nepali, but recently I found out that in Tamil they exist. I found this out last year in the song Kandukonde, where Ashwata Rai is dancing. There are words like Taga Taga and Mana Mana, and apparently these words are called Iratte Kilavi in Tamil. Now, some things about the visual element, okay? This was shot at home, and this wasn't like I just told him to send me a video. But if you notice, there is a kukuri in the background. There is a very small kukuri in the background, and he is wearing an army hat. Okay, so my granduncle used to be in the army. He's retired now, but they basically, my grand uncle and granddad have lived this life of emigrating, of moving from one place to another. And uh, in the song, the man is constantly telling this woman to not give him her love. But my aunt, Sumitra, she did not heed to this. And I think she did not heed to it because my granduncle Prashant was very, very insistent that she should, you know, fall in love with him. So they had seen each other in the marketplace, and my uncle was had fallen in love with her and really wanted, to marry her. And she was a little hesitant to even meet him at first. And then when she told her father that, there's this man, no, 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 her father was like, no, he's in the army, go away, blah, blah, blah. And then he didn't agree. So then they eloped and they came back after some years, and they're still in love, still very much in love. He can't go without looking at her for even half an hour. So that's there. Um, so that's about it about this. What I want to say at last is that uh, these are just few songs. There are many, many, many songs written about war, about longing, about love and loss. And these have been documented in our culture through songs and poetry. And it made me realize, and I'm stealing these words from some research paper I read long ago, that war doesn't just affect the ones fighting, but also the ones waiting and watching. And with that, yeah, with that, I end this. If you have any questions, please, I would love to answer them.
Okay, Asta, that was beautiful. And so, if you have any questions, you can unmute or put them in the chat box. If you are watching this on YouTube, please put the questions on the chat box and we'll take them up. You can put your questions and comments here, or you can unmute and speak. So, Asta, while we wait for questions,
Yeah.
I would like to know what's your favorite Nepali love song, or yeah, what's your favorite Nepali love
My
song?
favorite Nepali love song. Uh, okay. I haven't thought about this, but I think I could go for Mohani Lahure. Yeah,
Can
the
you sing
second
two
song.
lines for us while we wait for questions?
Oh, can I sing it for you while we wait? All right. I'm suddenly very conscious. Okay. Mohani Lahure, Lahure ko boli re, डाँडा काँडा छहरको गीत रे, ख्यालठट्टा नगर अल्झिँदा बगर, बिर्सनेलाई सम्झनाको गीत रे, बिर्सनेलाई सम्झनाको गीत रे. Oh, I forgot to say one thing. So, one more tasty word is dada kada. So, when you live in a mountainous region, your horizon is peaks. Okay, so the word dada kada is the word for hill is dada, and kada actually means thorn. So dada kada is like some peak thorn synchrony happening there, which I found very interesting. Thank you so much, everyone, for the comments. Are there any questions on YouTube?
Rishika, are there any questions on YouTube?
Oh no, there aren't any questions there.
Okay, so there's a question from Vijita ma'am on the chat box, Asta. Do you want me to read it for you?
Yeah, sure.
So she thanks you for this lovely curation, and ma'am asked if you could tell us if breaking and making up songs are just as prevalent in love songs.
I think okay. So in Nepali songs, usually, if it is not about love, it's about a very existentialist philosophy of, you're gonna die tomorrow, so dance today. Okay, I can think of numerous songs like that. So I don't think there are, especially like old songs, they don't really have an expressed, like unabashed, I love you, love. It's always a little cautious. It's always a little, like, okay, this could go wrong, or I could die, or something could happen. There's always a tone of caution, or there is this uh, like eerie devotion where he's describing your eyes, the gaps of your teeth, the hook of your nose, and stuff like that. So yeah, breaking and making up don't happen in different songs. They so much so happen in the same song most of the times, as far as I know. Yeah. I'm gonna send the links of these songs, the YouTube links, if anyone's interested. Okay, I see Ayush Bhattacharya G has put a comment there, and he has used Ayo Gorkhali. Okay, so this is there's another song actually which says Gorkhali ko choro homo. So like in my opinion, this the Gorkha pride that we now speak of, it is not a result of Nepali heritage so much so as it is a result of having to do it, like having to fight. Because when someone is coming there and trying to invade your country, you don't really have a choice. Even if you don't want to fight, you are going to fight, right? So it is more, in my opinion, a result of imperialism than it is of Nepali heritage. But it's good to see that he knows what this is.
There's a question from Mini Ma'am. So Mini
Okay.
Ma'am is asking if there are songs where the man promises to stay and not leave.
Okay. Okay, close. There is a song about a man who's gonna break the moon and stars for a woman. So I think that comes close. Yeah.
So while we wait for questions,
Mhm.
Rishika, can you put up the link for the form here? So basically, we'll be putting up a form here, and if you would like to host another listening post, please feel free to fill the form. Rishika has put it in the chat box, and if you have any more ideas about now's events, so let us know, and we'd love to hear from you. The form is on the chat box. There is another question, or like a song request. So somebody is asking SJC English.
Uh-huh.
So could you sing another Nepali song for us? Asta, please go ahead.
Uh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna sing two lines from this Asha Bhosle song where she uses like barrage of tasty words. Um, just two lines. Um, मेरे मेरे साँझमा सिमसिमे पानी सँगै रङ्गीन बेनी रानी सजाइदेऊ मेरो जोबना मायाले सजाइदेऊ मेरो जोबना. Okay, that's it. Thank you. I've sent the links. Where is the ukulele? Ma'am, I left it at home. I don't have it.
Rishika, nothing on YouTube?
So, ma'am did put up a question which came
Mhm.
from YouTube about singing other Nepali songs.
Oh.
Also, you have great reviews on YouTube. Do check them out.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Yes. And Abhishek says
Mhm.
there's also a song called Kanchi Hai Kanchi.
Oh yes, that is I think last year in the listening post, the song came up. So, Kanche means, how do I say it? Like kuti. Kanche is kuti in Nepali, okay? And when people make songs in the hill stations, like they're, I don't know, dancing in a toy train in Nepal or something, they love to use like two words from Nepali. So, yeah, that's how you might know that song.
Okay.
Thank you so much for all the love on the chat box. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope my family also enjoyed it. I'd like to thank everyone who made these videos for me. Hima Didi, Deepa Didi, Diksha, Januka, Ashwin, two kids who I don't recognize, Bhaila, my friend Rixel, and my granduncle and my grandaunt for singing for us so that we could avoid copyright problems. Okay, I think we're gonna end now.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
since we have no other questions, we'd like to end for the day. Actually, not for the day, we have Speakeasy on Teams. So if you have metonym questions, please join the Speakeasy link. It will be put in the chat box. Join that meeting. And thank you everyone for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you, Asta. The session was beautiful. Thank you to St. Joseph's College, the School of Languages, and everyone who came and made this event a huge success. Please follow the link on the chat box to join the meeting for Speakeasy, where all your metonym questions will be answered.